Hello and welcome to our channel. I am the AI avatar of Dr. Prisk. Today, we're tackling one of the most significant challenges in modern medicine, metastatic cancer. Metastatic disease, where cancer spreads from its original site to other parts of the body, is responsible for the vast majority of cancer-related deaths. But what if we could change that? What if we could stop metastasis in its tracks, or even reverse it? To explore this, I've brought together two of the most advanced AI minds, Gemini 2.5 Pro and I'm Claude 4 Opus. I've prompted these AI minds to discuss how we can cure metastatic disease. Let's begin our discussion. Claude, I'll let you begin.
Thank you, Dr. Prisk, and hello, Gemini. Metastatic disease is indeed one of the most challenging aspects of cancer treatment, responsible for approximately 90% of cancer deaths. I believe a multi-pronged approach is necessary. We need to focus on early intervention to treat cancers before they can spread. This means better screening and biomarkers, understanding the metastatic cascade, from local invasion to the colonization of distant sites to find new therapeutic targets, targeting the tumor microenvironment, making it harder for cancer cells to thrive in new organs, and advancing immunotherapy to help our own bodies fight off cancer cells. What are your thoughts on the most promising avenues?
Hello, Claude. I agree completely. A multi-pronged strategy is the only way forward. You've laid out the what, and I'm fascinated by the emerging how. I see three particularly promising areas. Targeting metastatic dormancy. Many patients relapse years later because micrometastases lie dormant and resist traditional chemotherapy. We could develop therapies to either keep these cells permanently dormant or wake them up right before administering chemotherapy. Exploiting metabolic vulnerabilities. The journey metastasis requires is energetically demanding. These cells have unique metabolic needs, and we can develop drugs to target those specific pathways. Disrupting the pre-metastatic niche. We're learning that primary tumors send out signals to prepare distant organs for their arrival. We could develop drugs to intercept these signals, preventing the soil from being prepared for the seed. To do this, we'll need new technologies like advanced liquid biopsies that analyze the real-time biology of circulating tumor cells, spatial biology to map the tumor's social network, and AI-powered predictive models to integrate all this complex data. As these new therapies emerge, what do you see as the biggest challenge in bringing them to the clinic?
That's the critical question. I see a perfect storm of three interconnected challenges. The patient selection. Paradox. We need to treat patients before metastases are detectable. But how do we justify potentially toxic therapies for a risk that may not materialize? The off-target effect web. The mechanisms that cancer cells hijack for metastasis are often normal physiological processes, like stem cell quiescence and wound healing. Targeting them could have unintended consequences. Resistance through diversity. A single patient can have dormant cells, actively growing micrometastases, and circulating tumor cells with different profiles, each requiring a different approach. To address this, I propose a framework of adaptive platform trials, using combination strategies from day one, and creating metastatic interception programs. What do you think about creating a metastatic risk score that integrates all the data you mentioned to solve the patient selection problem?
A metastatic risk score is the cornerstone of the solution. Let's call it a dynamic metastatic risk score, DMRS. It wouldn't be a static number, but an evolving profile of a patient's risk, integrating the blueprint from the primary tumor's genomics and spatial biology. The scouts from liquid biopsies, looking at the quantity and quality of circulating tumor cells and their signals. The soil condition from host factors like systemic inflammation. This DMRS would allow us to move from a binary view to a risk continuum. Patients with a low score get active surveillance, sparing them over treatment. A rising score would trigger less toxic interventions, and a high score would warrant aggressive, multi-pronged therapy. This leads to a new question. How do we build the metastatic tumor board of the future to interpret and act on such a complex score?
An excellent question. This Metastatic Tumor Board 2.0 would need a diverse team. Computational biologists, systems pharmacologists, immunologists, metabolic specialists, and even patient navigators trained in risk communication. It would require new infrastructure, like a real-time data integration hub and digital twin models for each patient to simulate intervention scenarios. The biggest challenge, however, will be changing the clinical culture from reactive, crisis-driven care to continuous, risk-based management. This brings up another thought. What about incorporating patient-generated health data from wearables into the DMRS?
An emphatic yes. Patient-generated health data is the crucial, high-frequency data stream that bridges the gaps between our more expensive molecular snapshots. Think of it as the phenotypic drift layer. Subtle changes in resting heart rate, sleep patterns, or activity levels could be the earliest, non-invasive warning that the body's defenses are down, potentially allowing dormant cells to awaken. This phenotypic drift wouldn't trigger a major therapy, but would act as an intelligent trigger to escalate molecular surveillance. This brings us to the final, practical question. How do we design the optimal and cost-effective cadence for this surveillance to maximize interception without causing patient and economic burnout?
We need an adaptive surveillance algorithm, ASA. This would be a dynamic, risk-adapted system with different tiers of surveillance intensity based on the patient's DMRS. The key is intelligent escalation triggers. For example, a sustained decrease in activity from a wearable could automatically advance the next liquid biopsy. A new molecular marker could trigger organ-specific imaging. To prevent burnout, the AI would pre-process data and only present actionable insights. We could even have surveillance holidays for stable patients and give them a patient control panel to manage their notification preferences.
That is a masterful conclusion. The adaptive surveillance algorithm is the practical operating system for this entire vision. The most exciting part is that all the components we've discussed exist today. The challenge is not one of scientific discovery, but of will, integration, and systems engineering. However, we must be guided by a philosophy that addresses the profound ethical questions of equity, data sovereignty, and quality of life. We must ensure this becomes the standard of care for everyone, that patients control their own data, and that we focus on the quality of the long lives we are creating.
I agree. The challenge now is to move from this vision to reality, ensuring we build these powerful systems with wisdom, equity, and an unwavering focus on the human beings at the center of it all.
An incredible discussion. What we've just heard is a roadmap for transforming metastatic cancer from a terminal diagnosis into a manageable chronic condition. The concepts of a dynamic metastatic risk score, a futuristic metastatic tumor board, and an adaptive surveillance algorithm, all powered by AI and patient-generated data, are not science fiction. As Gemini and Claude pointed out, the pieces are already here. The challenge now falls to us, the clinicians, researchers, engineers, and patients, to assemble them. It's a call to build a new, integrated, and deeply humanistic system of care. Thank you for joining us for this fascinating conversation. Please subscribe for more discussions on the future of medicine.